I'm not here to please them.
Right.
You know, I need to put this message out there. I'm not saying every song in our future is going to be this. I just needed to get these views off my chest and just tell people how, hey, I think this is going to happen. Tour has been amazing. Great bunch of people we're on tour with. Amazing bands, cool people. We've had a great time with them all. Most of the shows have been packed or sold out. So it's playing the right size venues, nice small clubs, having a really fun time. I think so. I think that matters. We have some history with some members of ENTHEOS, being the drummer. He was in Animosity. We toured them way back in 2006. The guys at the High Command, also from Massachusetts. Just in Revocation, they're legends and they're awesome. And I'm co-tour managing the tour with their bassist Brett, and it's amazing. We've never toured together before. There's so much kinship going on. It's like we've known each other 20 plus years, and we just only met this tour. And it's everything's coming together really well. Everyone's super cool, and we're all out there for the same reason and having a wonderful time together. I think there's truth to it. It's a raw record.
Yeah.
But it took a long time to write and a bit of time to record. So ENTHEOS and Fire was intentionally a live record. So we did everything in between 1 and 3 takes, and we didn't do punches. We just made it feel live. This one was an intentional. We wanted to make it sound clean, but also heavy and aggressive and dirty. So it was an intentional approach. The songwriting though, was all Buzz on guitar, and we wrote most of it on the drum machine. And then our former drummer Nick added his parts too, which really rounded out the record. And then I flew in with my lyrics and my patterns and. Every time we put out a record, it's always my favorite one. But I do think this record has a lot to offer. There's a lot of dynamic going on that we haven't offered in the past. So it's kind of a culmination of all of our albums, and we're offering something different. And there's a lot of aggression behind it. And I think that was pent up from the 5 years it took to put out a record, and what the whole world went through. And I think you feel it, and I'm really proud of the record. Towards the tail end of the album cycle for our last record, Extinctions, we had some divides in the band, and we've always had a mentality to keep pushing forward, and I guess Buzz is the best of it. We're too stupid to quit, and so we were just forced through these divisions, and things just kept getting more separated. During the pandemic, we lost 2 members. We recorded the record with Nick on drums. He's an amazing drummer. Ken had no part of the record. He's still our friend, but it was better that we didn't work together anymore. He's on something different. I think both parties are in better places now. So I think maybe the pandemic helped us reset as a band. And so we have Mike Justin's back on drums. He's in the band for 2 most well-received records. With Peter Lehman, who's gonna fill in for Buzz, replace Buzz when Buzz had a union job back in 04-05. And so it's just everything kind of came together naturally. And as soon as we hit the road in end of July 2022, it felt so natural. I was like, man, this feels like the early days of us touring together and having a great time. And there was no animosity between each other. There's none of that built up stuff that goes 20 plus years. On the road together, sharing hotels and small backstages and stuff, and the discomfort. So it felt really refreshing, and it feels better than ever. It's going well. It was harder than I thought it would be. So when we did Extinctions, I had the whole idea. I wanted a concept record about the climate crisis. I got about halfway in, and other topics started to feel more important to me to sing about. And so I veered off, and it was natural. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to be married to this if I can't get there. This record, we had time, and it did delay the record. We could have been done recording the record at the end of 2021 if I had everything done.
Right.
Just ran out of time because I was committed. Like I feel like right now is the time I need to make a statement of how I feel about the climate crisis, and I needed to get there, and I needed the time. I needed the winter. I needed the early spring of 2022 to really dial it all in. And I've made repeated visits to Will Putney, a student in New Jersey. It's only about a 4-hour drive from Massachusetts. And it took extra time, but I needed it to be that way.
Yeah.
I didn't want to rush it. I don't want to push it. And I wanted to complete this thought. And I'm not saying other records are going to be concept records. It was a challenging feat. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have one, but I'm glad I put the pieces together. But it took a long time. So I have 2 kids, and I didn't grow up with this crisis, and it's accelerating every year.
Yeah.
And I want to do my part to not pass this off onto them. It's only getting worse every year. Now people raise their voice, and they can make a difference, and it's going to slow the process, and hopefully humanity can get there where everything's clean fuel, and we can, eventually beat this thing. But right now we're not there. Everyone's too divided. But if enough people have voices in the mix, things will change. And things are changing, but just not fast enough. Yes, I've seen it in reviews.
Okay.
And some people who might review it on, like, let's say, YouTube video, and then they'll maybe criticize the lyrical content,
right? Because
it's not about dragons and wizards or whatever.
Right.
If it's not about fantasy or something that isn't as impactful for them, it could be personal. It could be a social issue for them that they feel strongly about, but it doesn't check their boxes, they'll criticize. I'm not here to please them.
Right.
I need to put this message out there. I'm not saying every song in our future is going to be this. I just needed to get these views off my chest and just tell people how, hey, I think this is going to happen. That's what the record is. I'm talking about what's happening now. I'm kind of reporting in a metal song.
Yeah.
Look around, this is happening, and there's predictions of what I think is going to happen next. And it's just my view. I've done it in other records before, The Oncoming Storm. I talked about what I saw the world coming, and it's not Nostradamus, it's things I see. And some things have come true, not everything has. I see it, I'm like, hey man, guys, look around, we can do better, and that's all I'm trying to do, just encourage a positive change. So bands that I listen to regularly, I listen to a lot of Spirit Adrift.
Okay.
This band called Witch Hazel from England. They're a Christian band, and I'm not Catholic or Christian. I was growing up, but whatever. But it doesn't matter.
They're not preaching also.
The lyrics do, but not on stage.
Exactly.
They're an excellent band. They write good classic heavy metal, and they're awesome. Because I don't believe in any entity. So I can listen to Ghost or whoever listens to worship Satan.
Yeah.
To me, it's all fairy tale. So it doesn't matter if you sing about God or Satan. If the tunes are good. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
There you go.
Spirit World is awesome too. There's a lot of spirit bands now. The Spirit World is killer.
I know.
We lucky enough to do some shows together in Europe in June, and they're just awesome.
Spirit World, for those that don't know the band well, they do a really cool thing where they basically combine thrash and country music, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff happening. If you didn't have to live up to the brand on Earth, if you got completely free range, is there like for what we would find an unexpected musical injection you would try to do something with?
So once my daughter was born 10 years ago, I started playing acoustic guitar.
Okay.
So I tried to sing to her in the tub or to sleep, whatever. And I took a real liking to kind of Americana, classic country bands.
Okay.
But more modern ones. There's a singer called the White Buffalo. I love him. He's one of my favorite singers out there. And there's also a Canadian artist called Coulter Wall.
Okay.
And so the stuff I do in my acoustic is, not nearly as good as these gentlemen, but what I write would maybe mimic kind of what they're doing, kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
the songs are for me and my kids, and I played in my daughter's preschool, which is much younger, 2 or 3 times. It was really fun to have that. First one, it's 4-year-olds. I was super nervous. I've been doing this for a living. Yelling to a mic in front of however many people, and literally 15, 4-year-olds, and I was nervous. And she's like, "What are you doing?" The kids. I'm like, I don't know, I don't do this.
They're gonna be very honest in their feedback. You know?
But they got, like, I started playing Bad Moon Rising by Creedence,
Yeah.
and they all got up and started dancing. I was like, man, it's so fun.
Awesome.
I usually have a whole different vibe, you know, so it was cool.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.